everybody, and thanks for coming. It feels really nice to have friends supporting me in this new experience that I'm trying out. This is my first talk. I normally do more like practical class, and I really enjoy doing that. But it's also for me to challenge myself a little bit more. It's good to experiment talking a little bit more about the theory behind what I do. So doing it with you, it feels very safe, and I feel very supportive. And so thank you for being here. So today we have 1 hour. I hope we can cover at least the basic of what bioenergetics is, and also to have a little bit of space for questions if you have any questions, and hopefully I have an answer for you. And I would like to bring some kind of little mindfulness exercise, but let's see if we have time for it. That's my idea, but let's see how we do by about time. So first of all, I would like to talk a little bit about what actually bioenergetics was for me. It is for me in my life, you know, to make it a little bit more personal, and just to share my experience with this practice, with this technique that I found very valid. And that's the main reason why I wanted to share it with people. I'm very passionate about sharing it with people, because it is very beneficial for me. And I see the transformation, I see the changes that brought into my life, you know. So I don't want to bore you with the whole story of my life, but just to say like how I came across bioenergetics. I think I pretty much lived most of my adult life like pretty much in my head, you know, like trying to think through everything, trying to sort out everything through my mind. And I was pretty much like someone who really loved like accumulating knowledge about things, you know. I was very good at studying. I went to university, and I was like really busy thinking, I think in a way thinking that the more knowledge I will have and I could share, the more I will be like respected, or the more I will be like acknowledged, and I will gain more self-worth because I know much. And all the things, like the issue that I felt that I was having, you know, growing up in my adult life, or the issue like relating with people, or the issue that I have in my self-confidence, I was trying to address them through kind of like reading a book about it, or like seeing like what that scientist said about negative thinking. How can I address all these things that I want to change inside of me through thinking it through the mind, addressing it through the mind. And I wasn't going too far, to be honest. I wasn't really going too far. I started to go like to talking therapy, and again I was trying to understand, like to learn things about myself, which I did, but actually it was only once I started to work with my body, you know, when I started to address the emotional world that was residing in my body, that I start to change things, that I start to feel all the things that I was trying to understand, you know. Like I was like super pissed off with my ex-partner because he, you know, he broke up with me, and I was convinced that it was his fault, you know. It was like, yeah, of course, he he's a dickhead. I don't want to, he treated me so bad. He abandoned me, And my therapist started to say like, yeah, but you know that actually it's not about him. That is about like probably your parents, your mom. And I was like, yeah, maybe, yeah. And my mind was understanding that, but I wasn't processing that. And once I went to, bioenergetic session or emotional expression session, I think it was a flashing session. And I really felt that what that therapist was telling me, I really felt it in my body. Okay, that wound is nothing to do with that person. It's really nothing to do with that person. It really comes from a very, very old charge that I was finally feeling in my body, and finally being able to address through that process inside the body. Yeah, so just to say that for me, bioenergetics, it helps me a lot also, like to really inhabit my body, to really feel, give back to the body the functions and the rules that he has. Like feeling, I can stand here, I can stand here and feel okay. I feel my belly, feel my feet in the ground. I'm talking with you, I'm okay. I'm feeling okay. I don't have to pretend to be someone. I don't have to sort out with my mind and read a book about how to be confident. Maybe it could help to learn a technique, but actually if I can feel in my belly, if I can connect with my own body, feel grounded, breathe through it, I can be present. I can respond to the present moment, to the situation that are happening for me moment by moment, with my honesty, my full honesty, because the charge that I have, I can put it on a side and just be present with you right now. So for me, bioenergetics is overall about being in the body, basically. And the more I'm in the body, the more I'm present. Yeah, so overall, this is what bio is for me, being in the body. But let's get serious and let's see, what's bioenergetics? So this is a definition of what bioenergetics is. There are many different definitions. This is a definition that I learned from my teacher, which worked here for quite a long time. My bioenergetics teacher, Deborah Sandberg. So bioenergetics is a body-based therapy or body movement therapy. And the aim, the goal of bioenergetics is to remove the effects of repression from the body. Yeah, we're going to look at what repression is, how repression manifests physically in the body. But overall, just to say, this is the main definition. Yeah, it's a body-based therapy to remove the effects of repression from the body. Where bioenergetic, what the words, the name bioenergetics come from, just to give a little bit of a history. So bioenergetics has been coined by a psychotherapist, American psychotherapist called Alexander Lowen. He was a brilliant psychotherapist back in the 50s, and he started to combine talking therapy with body-based therapy. So he will work through body movement, postures, through breathing, and through combining talking therapy as well. But if we want to mention, I think it's important to mention also let's say the big father of bioenergetics, which is actually the teacher of Alexander Lowen. He was an Austrian psychiatrist. His name was Wilhelm Reich. Maybe some of you have known him. He's one of the first Western psychiatrists and psychologists that started to connect the body and the mind. probably in the Eastern culture is much more common for psychologists to connect the body and the mind. But for the Western culture, that was quite revolutionary, yeah, to start to work through that connection. William Reich, he developed, he focused his attention and his studies on something that he called the body armors. I don't know if maybe some of you have known or have heard of this. So his theory was that basically in the body we experience what we do, we experience traumas in the body. So the way we been affected by traumas are in the body, and the body hold armors and tension. And he developed this theory where we all have like rings of armor around the body, around the main center of the body. So we have like visual armoring around the ocular session, another armor on the throat, the self-expression, an armor on the chest, so on and so forth, solar plexus, the pelvic area. And depending on what kind of wound and what kind of trauma we experience as a child, that will shape our body in a certain way. So he found a common thread between like type of personality, body posture, and this type of armors. Yeah, so that's what William Reich is famous for, body armors, and something called the Reichian character analysis. So he will actually analyze the body of his client and to reading their body to see what their body speaks about, their past, what they've been through, how the shape of their body have transform and work around the tension that has been accumulated during the life, Okay. Am I doing so fast? Too fast? Okay, so what's the focus of bioenergetics? An example that I like to bring is comparing bioenergetics with yoga. Maybe yoga is more popular than bioenergetics. People knows a little bit more about yoga than they know about bioenergetics. So I like to take that as an example. So yoga is also a body movement therapy, as bioenergetics is. Yoga is great for like keeping a healthy body, being more flexible, also helps to calm the mind. It works on the mind and body as well as bioenergetic does. But the main difference between yoga and bioenergetics is the focus. Where is the focus? The focus again of bioenergetics is to release the traumas. It doesn't have to be traumas, and to release any unexpressed emotions that we store in the body. Any emotion, any feelings that we don't allow ourselves to feel in the moment. Yeah? And all these unexpressed emotions, unexpressed feelings, they get a physical manifestation. So they manifest physically, as I said, in the body. Yeah? When these feelings manifest in the body, what happens in the whole system is that this charge stops our natural flow of energy. Yeah, the energy, instead of flowing around the system, mind-body system, they got blocked. So it's a stuck emotionality there. And when we can't have this energy flowing, there are psychological issues coming up. There are things that we disconnect from. There are all sort of different problems or issues that we can face. We can't feel fully alive. We can't feel fully present. So it's important to say, like, what's the main principle of bioenergetics? Again, all the feelings that we suppress get stored and bound into the body, into the muscular fascia, into the tissue of the body interconnective system of the body, and they become a charge of energy inside. So this charge of energy is just like all these feelings that we can't really feel, or we don't allow ourselves to feel. Yeah, and they get stuck. So let's have a look like how the repression manifests physically according to bioenergetics. So there are two different ways that the repression get manifest physically. The first one is through holding patterns, and the second one is the dead zone. So the holding patterns are basically area of the body where there is a natural rigidity, a tension. They can be visible in the posture. One of the common way that we create rigidity and we hold feelings in, a way that we avoid feelings. It's like, for example, when we lock the knee. We block the knee down, so we are not connected to the lower part of the body. So we can't feel grounded. And we do this because mainly living and inhabiting the lower part of the body is quite scary. You know, this is where reside our more instinctual part. We tend to live, from our neck up. This is our world is more like from here up. Our mind, our thinking mind, as I said, in my experience, is trying to sort everything out with the mind and to just avoid to connect with the lower part, to connect with the ground, to feel your pelvic area. And this is mainly why we lock the knee. We lock the knee because we don't want to feel down there. We don't want to. Also, when we lock the knee, it tends to create like a little curve into the lower back here. This is also a way to lock the hip as well. We lock the hip back, so we disconnect from the pelvis. Yeah, the pelvis is another area. Like, oh my God, what's gonna happen there? What's gonna happen if I really feel there? There's our sexual energy there. There's our vitality, our aliveness, the fiery of our lower belly area, the volatility of that area. It's scary for us. We're gonna have a look up why we don't want to feel. What are the reasons why we stop ourselves from fully feeling into our body. There are cultural reasons, there are protective mechanisms, there are different ways why we do that. We're not just crazy and we just want to disconnect for no reason at all. So as I say, posture. So sometimes we tend to breathe into the shoulders, to really use only this part, the shoulder blades, the muscle of the throat, just have this shallow chest breathing, to disconnect from the belly again. It's scary there. Who knows what's going on there, And also because we tend to be in this kind of, always this kind of flight or fight response, where there's this level of anxiety of having to sort. The mind is taking too much on that is not his task to do. It's taking over roles that the body should have. I will talk about that more deeply. But that's also the reason why we always constantly stay in this state of trauma response, having this shallow breathing, which create again tension, which create rigidity. We can't feel the back of the heart. We can't properly feel the heart center. The throat get blocked. We can't really express. We can't breathe through it freely. Yeah. This is just a few examples. It might not resonate with you, you know, but just to get some common way of like postural dysfunction due to rigidity and tension. Another option is to manifest what Russian manifest is through dead zone. So zone where we can't feel anymore. Either because they have become, the rigidity has become too chronicized, so we kind of, our body start to evacuate that part, you know. It's too much. It's too much. We have feel pain for so long, that pain get chronicized, and the following stage is just numbness. We don't feel anything, yeah? So it can manifest through lack of tones, so there's no tones anymore, there's no tones in the muscle, or lack of sensation, so we totally disconnect there, yeah? So if I say to you, like, close your eyes for a moment, just try to do a little experiment. So take a deep breath in, and maybe place your palms of your hands like on your lap or on your knees, like facing upwards. And I invite you to start to feel your hands, the palms of your hands. Start to breathe. And really be curious to see if there is any level of sensation there. If you can feel any heat, any warmness. You can relax your breath. And then let go of that connection. Keep your eyes closed. And now I invite you to start to feel your genitals. To see that area, like try to make a connection there with your awareness. And you don't have to visualize anything, you don't have to create an image of any sort. Just stay with the sensation in the body. See if you can reach any sensation where you can anchor your awareness to. Just allow you breathe through. Go in that space. And now when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And I would like to know, like, what difference you felt between like feeling your hands and feeling your genitals. Was that which one was easier? If you felt easier to connect with your genitals, if you felt easier to connect with your hands, if you could reach any level of sensation there, how was it for you?
Hands are easier for me, but I think because I've done that a few times where they say focus on the feeling in your hands. I guess I'm used to it, but I'm not really used to doing it on genitals, so it was easier.
Thank you. Anybody?
Same, I feel the hands easier.
I was just going to say it was quite similar, but the sensations were different.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Just to have an experience a little bit of like maybe some part of our body we are more connected to, more naturally connected to our hands. We use our hands a lot, and sometimes it's more difficult to connect with some part that could feel more uncomfortable, for different reason. So let's move on. So what happens What happen when we repress feeling? What happen when this energy gets stuck? What happens is that we restrict the vital function of the body. Just to mention them, what are our vital function, the vital function of the body? Breathing, breathing freely, breathing 100%, using the whole body to breathe. You know, that's how this function should work on its fullest level, you know. So all these restrictions, they restrict the breathing. And when we restrict the breathing, we restrict the charge of energy that we take into the body. Yeah. If you think about the body system, the energetic process of the body, there are two main energetic processes that the body does. The process of charging and the process of discharging. Charging the body and discharging the body. When a system can maintain a balance between charging and discharging, that is a balanced and healthy system. When there is an imbalance between charging and discharging, or it is too discharge and less charge, or the other way around, you know, that will affect our well-being. Yeah. So breathing is a fundamental element to charge the body. For example, self-expression is a fundamental function to discharge the body. Yeah, motility, move the body freely, have a flexible body that can move in all his part is the way that we can discharge energy. So if all these functions actually work together, we're gonna have a healthy balance. We're gonna have a healthy balance between charging and discharging. So what bioenergetics does is to examine, to analyze in a system where are the restrictions on this vital function and how we can work through this, how we can address these functions and how we can release the charge that create this restriction. Yeah? Because ultimately what we want is to be more vital and more alive and to feel everything, the bad and the good, you know. The mechanisms of repression. Let's have a quick look of that, about that. So our brain as humans has the capacity to offset emotional responses. Yeah? So that's what basically repression is to put off feelings, put off emotions that can be too much. We're going to have a look why we do this, why we repress, why the brain is actually has this capacity, you know. Also animals have this capacity. It's not only a human skill. This process works on an unconscious level. We're not aware of it. We repress it, but we're not aware of it. Yeah, not in the moment. Why we repress? There are two main types of situation where we repress feelings. Why the brain is set up to repress feelings. One situation is the traumas. One situation is the conditioning. So I'm not going to go through a long story about what trauma is, you know, and what it means. There are different schools of thoughts, so many different, you know, discipline and theory about it. I just want to mention that that's one of the situations why our brain is designed to put off feelings. A trauma is a protective response of our nervous system. It's actually a very healthy and clever protective mechanism. When it's set off, when it's too much to feel, it's too much. In that moment, it's too much. So that mainly happens, for example, in our childhood, when our nervous system is not actually fully developed. So there are extreme feelings or too intense feelings that a child can't bear in the moment. It can't bear it. So the brain is set that alarm. It's too much. Okay, we set off these feelings. Another situation is conditioning. What's conditioning? Any of you have any idea what conditioning is? We talk a lot about it, but do we actually know what it is?
Not expressing public our feeling is not right.
Not expressing our feeling in public.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Definitely is part of it. So conditioning, it responds to the needs of fitting in with society. Yeah, conditioning differently from the trauma, it operates on a conscious level. This is unconscious, this is conscious. The conditioning comes from our culture, the culture where we live, where we grow up, our society. You know, each society and each culture has its own set of rules or set of things that are acceptable and things that are not acceptable, feelings that are okay to express, as you said, and feelings that are not okay to express. And once, when we grow up, we take that conditioning from the outside in. Then when we start to grow up and go towards more to adult life, we internalize that conditioning. So it's not coming anymore from the outside, it's actually coming from the inside. Yeah, it's a normal process. It's a normal process of any society. We function like that. We have needs. You know, we want to get our needs met. We want to have friends. We want to have lovers. We want to have a role in society. It's so important for us, you know. And fitting in is the price, you know. Suppressing feelings is the price that we have to pay to fit in, yeah. And this is how it is. So let's have a look at finally, what's the goal of bioenergetics? You know, what bioenergetics want to help us with? Yeah, let's put it like that. Deepening our awareness in the body. Why is important to deepening our awareness in the body? Because, as I said, deepening the awareness in the body helps us to feel present, help us to bring us back from the mind down into the body, giving back to the body his functions, his role, to navigate life in a more authentic way. And also because if we can feel more the body, if we can open more our sensation in the body, we can be more open also for pleasure. Yeah. When we avoid intensity because it's too much, we're not only avoiding the negative feelings, we're avoiding intensity itself, which also include the good intensity, you know, the pleasure, the intensity of pleasure, the intensity of excitement, you know, the intensity of joy, of just being joyful, you know, the laughter. I realize how much I repressed laughter inside of me, how much I repressed joy. It wasn't okay to be joyful when I was a child. My dad would just come and say, oh, you've been too noisy. You know, you are too excited. There's too much vibration coming from me. I can't cope with that, you know. So we kind of repress that, you know. It's not okay. It's not okay to feel joyful, fully joyful, you know. So it's not only about not wanting to feel the pain, not wanting to feel the anger, or not wanting to feel the fear. It's also about not allowing ourselves to fully feel pleasure, yeah, joy, excitement. The other tool that bio give us to help us to overcome this this rigidity, this holding emotionality, is to helping the body to spontaneously release. Well, and I like spontaneously because the body knows how to release. The body has its wisdom, you know, it's in our DNA. The body knows how to release. It's just that we lose a little bit that capacity. You know, I always make this example about like animals. You know, animals knows how to release. You know, when it's too much to feel, so when that alertness of the nervous system kick in and say, okay, that's too much right now. It doesn't have to be like, so the feelings don't just dissolve because we put them off. We store them into the body. But what the animal does, you know, he put them off for a moment because he's facing maybe a very dangerous situation, a threat for his life. But then afterwards, if he survived to that situation, the animal's body does something to release that, to release the adrenaline, to release the fear that the body had just experienced, you know. If you see a gazelle that has been chased by a lion and he survived, straight afterward the gazelle will shake for 10 minutes and his body will just release all that chemicals that have been activated in their system. You know, we had that. We had the same. We are animal, as same as a gazelle. We just been overemphasize the thinking word. You know, the value of the body have been put it on a, you know, on a side by our society, and that, you know, we kind of sitting in this belief that we can't release, that we need to read a book about it. You know, actually the body knows. The body knows how to release. We just need a little help. Yeah, just give it a little help. You know, use the body a little more. This is what bioenergetics is about. You know, give that little push to the body to then go and do his thing, because he knows, you know. And ultimately, the goal is to re-establish the natural flow of energy, that balance, yeah, the fully work of this vital function that can feel, you know, can help us feel alive, vital, and to improve our capacity for pleasure as well. Yeah? What time is it? Okay, still have some time. You still have energy? A little bit. It's not long. Just few words about, probably some of you have been to my classes, bioenergetics, before. So just few words about how bio works and what's the technique. Very simple. You know, some of you know. It's not complicated. It's not a complicated technique. It's very basic. It has 3 fundamental elements to it. The first one is we use postures. So we're gonna put the body into certain posture. Some of them are stress posture, but it's a control stress. So it's a stress that we control. It's also an exercise of self-regulation. So when we get into this posture, the idea is that we reach the edge of our comfort zone in this stress. So we stay with that degree of stress, we reach that edge, and we serve that edge, which is different for each of us. And the edge is like, my body can bear this much, yeah? I'm not holding myself back. I'm open to experience that control level of intensity, yeah? And it's about retraining the body to stay with intensity, as we said, the intensity of pleasure, the intensity of negative feelings. It's the same, it's to retrain the body and the brain that it's okay to stay with intensity. Okay. Then we bring the breath, so important, vital function of the body, breathing. We breathe through the mouth in bioenergetics because breathing through the mouth helps us to bring more oxygen in, so we can charge the body a little bit more. We can rise the energy level in the body, yeah, breathing through the mouth. And also because when we experience stress, when we experience intensity, what we tend to do, first thing that we do, we hold the breath. We hold, oh my God, yeah, we hold the breath. So what we want to do is the opposite. Yeah, we want to breathe even more. We want to exaggerate that breathing, yeah? So we can process. The breathing helps us to process. You will see when you do stretching, like in, when you do yoga, you do stretching, you see that if you breathe, if you take a nice deep breath into it, it's much easier to process intensity with the breathing, yeah? Ultimately, feel the body. So again, here, we wanna reverse that mechanism of avoiding intensity, of avoiding feelings, distracting ourselves. Because living the body, we are used to live in the mind, and the world of the mind is very complex. It's very stimulating. It's constantly chatting, constantly give us input and stimulation, while the world of the body is much more subtle. It's subtle. It doesn't have that vibration, can have it, but it's maybe a little bit more boring. Could be, So feeling the body is something new for us a little bit, It's something that we need to relearn. Yeah, we need to re-embody, re-inhabit this. And also because what we tend to do is when we are in a stress posture, stretching our legs and we are experiencing a level of stress, what we tend to do is to escape. I'm gonna escape this. I'm not gonna stay with it. I'm gonna start to think about something else so I can distract myself and not feel it anymore. But actually, we want to do the opposite. We want to stay exactly where it's the most intense. Yeah, I'm gonna stay with the arms up here, and I will guide you to feel here where is the most intense. To feel in your shoulders, to feel it in your neck, to stay with it, to breathe through it, to breathe through that intensity. Yeah, right there, what is the most intense? That will allow our body to process. Yeah, when we don't escape, when we don't dissociate, when we stay there, we stay in the body. Yeah, even if it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. That's the last one. So why we need bioenergetics? All the reason that we say, because we want to heal the body, because we want to heal from that charge. We want to be present with each other. We want to be present in our life. We want to feel more. We want to feel it all. Yeah. But also because, as I said, we live in a culture and in a society that doesn't emphasize the values of the body. Yeah, that really have put that on a side, and that have created a split. Have created a split between the mind and the body. We are very busy trying to always project a personality out there about who we are, how we want people to perceive us, and all the things that don't fit with that personality, we repress them, we repress them, and they get in the body. They don't just dissolve. Yeah. So also in our, as I said, in our human evolution, we have this frontal lobe here, which is very developed. It's highly developed. It's an incredible tool that we have. We're capable of amazing things, you know. But that also have created that split as well. Yeah. And that's what I was talking at the beginning, you know, like we had given to our mind to cover too many roles, to sort out too many things, you know, that is not his task to do. It's not his task to feel the heart, to feel into the heart. Feeling into the heart is a body sensation. The heart is a physical. The heart center is a physical part of the body. Yeah. So the heart will help us to connect, feel compassion, to connect with spirituality, to connect with each other. It's not through the mind that we're gonna achieve this. This is a function of the body. The belly has the role to keep our boundaries safe. Yeah? To assert your space, say, oh, this is my space, you know. Energetically, we can keep our space safe through feeling into the body, the belly. The belly has these roles. It's a powerful center. The spine, feeling into the spine is our capacity to walk through life, to feel stable, to feel supported. We don't have to figure it out, projecting out through the mind how to be confident, how to walk our talk, how to look, you know, stable, how to be stable in life. The spine will support us. If we can feel the connection with the spine, we can feel that we are actually supported in our verticality, in our groundedness. The feet, actually the leg, our capacity to discharge to the earth, to the ground, to feel grounded, to feel we can walk through life, you know, with presence, with stability. So these are all functions that the mind had taken over. Actually, if we give it back to the body, our life will be really much easier. Yeah. So one of the things that Bioenergetics wants us to do is to give back to the body his function and role in our life, especially in these key areas of the body. So I think I will finish it here. There will be too many other things that we could talk about, but I also want to leave some time if there is any questions or any, you know, it doesn't have to be a question, it can be simply, oh, I experienced this, I want to share this, or this is what it is for me. Whatever you feel you want to share with us, I'll be very welcome. And so if anybody feels drawn to make a comment or anything, or
I've got a question.
yeah.
Thank you for this. I have done TRE classes. Can you compare bioenergetics with yoga?
Yeah.
Could you compare bioenergetics with TRE if you are aware of them?
Okay. I'm not an expert of TRE.
It's
I've
trauma
done
release exercise.
yeah trauma release exercise. Yes, I've done it a few times, and what I know about it is basically it comes from bioenergetics. So bioenergetics is the main, like the core basis of TRE, and TRE takes some technique from bioenergetics, especially releasing technique, where you don't do much, you just allow the body to process things.
But you do at the beginning with the stressing of the muscles and then
Yeah, you do a bit of like exercise where you focus your attention in that part that you want to work on, and then you allow the body to go. Yeah, it's very similar. It's
So
very similar.
bioenergetic was first and the TRE
Yes,
comes to
yes,
that.
yes, yes. Also historically, yes.
And you mentioned the psychologist did, I don't know the name, but he did the body and the mind, kind of like exercise plus talking. Did I understand right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
does
both.
bioenergetics use some like sort of verbal release as well as the body release? Because what I've done here with you or Kevin, it's just the body.
It's just a
or-
class, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a body work class. But bioenergetics is also a talking therapy tool.
Mhm.
So it combines both.
Okay.
Yeah, but it depends who teaches. There are teachers that have only done training for body movement classes, and there are proper psychologists that have been trained in both body work and psychotherapy. So it depends on the teacher who's been trained to.
Mhm. Which one are you?
I've just done body work. Yeah, I'm not a psychologist, psychotherapy. I'd like to be.
You could.
Yeah. Any other comment?
Yeah, can I just ask a question about these dead zones? So the lack of
Yeah.
like sensation, let's say. So from what I've experienced of bioenergetics, there's certain postures like the bow pose and stuff, which I suppose is to bring more unstuck energy in specific areas. But are there, say, without being too graphic, there are people, say, who've experienced sexual trauma, and so there are dead zones within the pelvic region. Are there specific bioenergetic movements that can also help to release stuck energy there?
Yes, definitely there are. There is a lot of work with the pelvis, with the pelvic area in bioenergetics, because it's one of the main kind of area, energetic, very powerful energetic area. And it's not only because it's about sexuality, it's about life force, it's about vital energy. So there are a lot of exercise, either laying down, working directly with the pelvis, start to bring some movement there, and also increasing the speed of the motion there. There are more gentle exercise and a little bit more intense exercise. We've done a few times here, pelvic release.
Yeah, I think I've seen someone, but not in any of your class, sessions, but where there's this kind of with the knees, and you're kind of holding the knees at a certain point that causes them to shake.
That is also part of the TRE. That's also part of the TRE. It's called in TRE it's called butterfly. In bioenergetics, I think it's psoas release. It's called psoas release. Yeah, and it works with the psoas muscle. It comes start here, it goes all the way down here. So it works with the legs. It's a very important muscle, the psoas muscle, and that's a great tool. Psoas release.
Fascinating. Thank you.
I don't have a question, but I just like to share something happened to me, because I think bioenergetics is very powerful. And I had this pain in my back for a long time, and it would come and go. Sometimes I couldn't really lift anything at all. And in a very long, kind of intense bio session once, I had this just a flash of when it actually happened, and it released. Like I wasn't thinking about it was just like a picture and a release, very together like that, and it was just the breathing, the posture.
It was like an old memory.
Yeah, it was a very old memory. Yeah,
it can happen.
Of being angry in this particular situation.
Wow, interesting. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, the body stores memories.
The body does.
Memories of everything that happened to us, grief, anger. Yeah. So it just stays there for a while until we do bioenergetics. Any other comments or questions, reflection?
I've got a question. Like if through bioenergetics, if some of the exercises are actually causing you, it feels like it causes more damage than positives. I'm avoiding bioenergetics as much as I can because of the shoulders. Like,
Okay.
is there like, it doesn't mean that bioenergetics is not for everyone because some muscles are just not
Well,
meant to move certain way. I don't know.
Well, first of all, I mean, the main thing is, like, as I said, it's a self-regulation exercise as well. So it's about really exploring that edge. And maybe that's the edge for you. Maybe that's the part that is really, you have to be really super gentle with it, you know, and take care of you and do what you can do without pushing yourself beyond that edge, you know. So I think it teaches us a lot about how we can be more aware of our own limit as well, you know, and that doesn't mean that bioenergetics is not for you, or bioenergetics is not for everybody. It's just to say it's a tool to also self-regulate. It's a tool to also increase our awareness and our body limit as well. Yeah, that's what I feel to say. Okay, I think dinner is ready. So thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for coming. You're very supported.
Thank you.